see the mould in your bathroom here. How long has this been a problem?
Really worse. It's been starting since October last year, so 2013. It's been reported to the council, and we still haven't had an outcome. It's still not been done, and now we have found out that obviously we've got asbestos in our ceiling.
So what you reported to the council. What has happened? It's now March. What's happened?
Nothing really. They came round to do a test regarding the damp and the asbestos, which unfortunately they reported that it was negative, but we have found out that it is actually positive, and as yet nothing has been done, so we're still waiting for the council to actually come and get rid of the damp and the mould.
Do you think they can get rid of this?
Well, hopefully. We're just at the point now where we just can't take any more with 2 children. It's not nice to have them in a bath. It's around the windows, it's under the bath, it's behind the tiles, yet they just don't seem as though there's any urgency, and it's not fair.
So how long have you lived here?
Nearly 2 years.
So why do you think it's just started now?
No idea really. We've had a gentleman round that has stated that the ventilation is really poor in here. He has recommended that ventilation points does get put in the bathroom, the toilet and the kitchen, as there is no ventilation at all.
Are you being frustrated?
Frustrated, upset, emotional. It's not nice to see your children living in squalor basically when the council are not doing what they are as a landlord should be doing.
Have you spoken? How has this upset you?
It's really upsetting. You pay a lot to do your house up for your children and to live somewhere nice, and for it to it's just not very nice. It's not very nice to live in. It's stressful, it's emotional, and it's just not nice to look at.
Can you understand the council council only have so much money and even less money, etc., and they are trying their best? Do you get a feeling they're trying their best?
No, not at all, no. The repair system in Thurrock Council is disgraceful, to be honest. If you report an episode of damp and mould, especially now with asbestos, with children in the property as well, it should be dealt with as an emergency, and it's not.
So just to go again, how many people have been round here so far?
To deal with the damp, we had the surveyor from Thurrock Council, a gentleman from a company that treats the mould, a gentleman to come round and test for the asbestos, and that is it. That was the last person to come round.
You've got Lynn Carr on the case. Are you hopeful Lynn can do something about this?
I really hope so. Lynn Carr is, well, since she's actually helped me, has been a lifesaver, to be honest, because I have been really, really down about it, and you don't get no help from the council. There's no emotional help there either, and to have Lynn and Barry on the case is just brilliant.
Lynn, regarding mould in houses, and hope so that we don't go round in circles, where are we at the moment with this?
I think we're stuck at the moment, Michael. Tenants are coming back to me once again, time after time after time. We don't seem to be moving on, we don't seem to be progressing, so I'd say at the moment we're stuck.
But again, we're just asking the questions, but the council seem to be thinking they're making progress.
Well, then they need to go and see the tenants that are coming to me. I mean, it became a little bit of a joke a while ago where tenants were saying, yeah, they've come back out, they've took pictures again. I began to think that a lot of these surveyors that work for the council were taking a degree in photography. But on a serious note, it just doesn't seem to move on. It doesn't seem to get any better, and they're coming back to me with missed appointments and, you know, people not turning up and the mould coming back. So it's a bit like if you've got an old Capri and you're renovating it, you've got to really get in and get rid of that problem before you spray it, otherwise it's going to come back.
Is this not what Jeff Chalkin from Building Forensics was more or less saying, is that you've really got to look deep root at the problem, otherwise people keep coming back again and you're just throwing money
good money after bad all the time.
Okay, but we're now in the middle of late March, elections coming up in soon. What would you do differently?
I would get the right people in to look at the problem and invest the money. As I say, the regeneration programme, the £65 million capital programme, is welcomed wholeheartedly. I think it's fantastic. But you've got to look at the houses that have got these problems first. How can you go in and put new kitchens and bathrooms in when the woman down the road is living with mould? You can't say to her, you're in year 5, we're doing year 2, you've got to wait another 3 years. That cannot happen. You've got to deal with that problem now. So if it means that this lady here doesn't get a new kitchen or bathroom because this lady here has got a severe problem needing dealing with now, that has to happen. There's got to be flexibility and movement.
I think I may have asked this question before, but forgive me. Why am I hearing all this in Ockendon?
A question I'd like to ask, actually. Why?
Do you think other councillors, and do you think there are other councillors who possibly aren't pulling their weight on this?
Well, I can tell you now that I deal with, and me and Barry deal with a lot of problems in Bellis, in Cranall Green, that kind of area. I don't know, maybe they know that me and Barry are doing a good job and they're coming to us.
And what about the argument that you're more or less putting complaints in and CCing the press, and here we are in the Ockendon area speaking on YouTube, but that you shouldn't bring the media into it? That's been leveled,
because we've been banging our head against a brick wall. Every time we go to the council, yes, we'll do with this. Yes, nobody ever updates me. And then the tenant comes back to me. So I do give the council the opportunity to put it right. But when they don't, then I come to the press.
What about the argument?